Hello, this is Angelia with the podcast you're listening to or watching called Why You Do What You Do. Podcast that talks about human development and psychology to help you figure out maybe a little bit more about why you do what you do. I was sick the other day and it is hot and humid here today, so brain fog is happening. And the speech issue is an issue anyway, so getting it from the brain and out might be a while, so bear with me. Last time we were talking about obesity, which is an epidemic, but also, I think they've kind of harped on it quite a bit more than they used to. The people, in the 50s and early 60s were actually heavier, and then in the 60s and 70s, people got thinner, then they got thicker again, and now we're back to the, if you're 40 pounds overweight, you're obese, but it is an epidemic because you can get diabetes from it, you can get heart disease from it, so it is a real problem. What explains the obesity epidemic? Experts point to an increase in snacking, availability of inexpensive fast foods, supersized portions, high-fat diets, labor-saving technologies, and sedentary recreational pursuits, such as television and computers. And I know my husband likes to snack, and he don't need to be snacking on the salty stuff he snacks on because he's already got hardening of the arteries. He's already had a stroke. So, snacking is a thing for some people. And of course, fast foods. Like I said, I was talking about the other day when my kids would be out late, and I'd ask if they had dinner, and if they said no, I'd go get them some fast food. And of course, if I got them some too, I might just get me something else too, a little snack. And when I was working on the way home, if I hadn't eaten, I would get myself something. I might pick something up for the kids. So fast food is just that. It's fast and easy, and it's too convenient, supersized portions. My husband used to do that. He can't eat as much as he used to, so he doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't get the extra large or supersize or, large. He gets the medium, which, for him, he's a big guy. He could probably do the extra large and be fine. But for me, I always do the medium because I'm a medium-sized person at the towering height of 5'2". So medium's good enough for me. It should be anyway. High-fat diets. One of my sons, he's curbing his ways, which is good, but he there for a while, basically pizza and nachos and tacos. That was it. That was his diet, and he gained a lot of weight. And we were on him, and the doctor was on him, and he wasn't really listening. Then he started having some health issues. His A1C got pretty high. He had a spinal stroke. He hurt himself at work and fell and everything, and so he's starting to now take his health a little more seriously. Thank goodness. He's lost, some weight, so that's good. Labor-saving technologies, of course. We don't have to wash by hand on the board anymore. I still have to wash dishes by hand. A lot of people have, a dishwasher. We used to have a dishwasher, but it broke. Not going to lay blame, but somebody was to blame. I said, you gotta scrape those dishes. It's got a food grinder. No, it doesn't matter. You gotta scrape those dishes. But anyway, so I still have to wash dishes by hand 3 times a day, or however many times I get to do it a day. So, sedentary recreational pursuits such as television and computers. Excuse me. I know some people who watch TV all day long. I can't do that, they sit there and I just can't. I might have always been a little too hyper for that, but I watch TV. I watch the morning news, like Good Morning America or whatever, in the morning while I'm eating breakfast. Then when I'm done with breakfast, I turn that off, and the TV don't come back on for me until it's like 8 o'clock and it's family time, and then we sit down and watch TV together. So, between whatever time to 8 o'clock, I'm not watching TV. I do go on the computer and check the Facebook notifications, see what my peeps are up to. But, you know, for me, the television and computer is not a recreational thing that, I get into like a lot of people do. I mean, to me, the computer's a tool that you can use, to help grow your business or get the word out, or, hope somebody likes what you did, and you did some good in the world today, and maybe somebody wants to be a patron and, help you support yourself. So you don't have to rely on other people, but, that's what I use it for. A tendency toward obesity can be inherited, and this genetic tendency may interact with environmental and behavioral factors. So, if your parents were obese, you have the genetic component probably to be obese. And if you sit around on your booty all day and then eat fattening foods, guess what's going to happen? More so than with someone who has two skinny parents. I knew this woman I used to work with, and man, I was so jealous of her. She ate like a horse. Every meal, her family was taught you eat something from every food group at every meal. So she would have the 5 food groups covered at every meal. So she would sit there and eat all this food, and this woman only weighed like 102 pounds. And I was like so jealous, and she said, it's because I eat all this food. It's because I eat all these fruits and vegetables and stuff at every meal, and protein at every meal. And I'm thinking, yeah, what about the bread and the little dessert cake you got and stuff, But, some people are just like that. Some people just have the genes where you're going to be skinny. My husband's, like I said, he can still wear his senior jersey, if you can imagine that. But in high school, he weighed like 135 pounds, and now he weighs more like 185. So he's gained quite a bit of weight, but he was so skinny to begin with. Really, he's just kind of filled out, and, looks like a dude now instead of a skinny guy. My brother used to call him, what was that guy? Skeletor from He-Man. So, Researchers have identified that a genetic mutation in mice that may disrupt the appetite control center in the brain by inhibiting production of the protein leptin, which tells the brain when the body has consumed enough. And now my son, one of my sons, he has what we believe is undiagnosed, gosh, the name just left my brain. That's terrible, I know. Neural tube defect. Because he can't feel pain well. He doesn't have a lot of sensation. So when he's eating, he doesn't know when he's full. And I've told him, schedule it, portion it, so you're eating enough, but you're not overeating. And he's trying to do that, and trying to manage his food better. But that's what he told me, before when he said, I don't know when I'm full. I keep eating because I don't know when I'm full. I don't feel full, so I keep eating. And of course, for someone like that, that's a problem. So they have to learn how to manage that situation. In humans, overeating may result from the brain's failure to respond to this protein's signals. So if your brain is not telling you you're full, you might not feel full, and so you might keep eating. I worked with a woman years ago who ate a lot, and we don't know if she had that, because she didn't ever seem to feel full. She was constantly eating, and she was a large person, so it was affecting her health. In a society that values slenderness, being overweight can lead to emotional problems. And of course it can. I know people who will not overeat. I know women who wear corsets and, belly bands and things, to keep them from gaining weight. We had a girl when I worked at the counseling center who was starving herself. And I've met a couple at the psychology group that, had anorexia and things. So it can be a real problem. One of my sons actually is very thin, and he eats light meals. And according to him, because I was worried about that, because I know when I was in high school, I was exercising a half hour a day, and I didn't eat a whole lot of food. And when I started filling out, my mother put me on the pill so that I didn't get pregnant in high school. I started filling out. And I started noticing these like saddlebags on the thighs. I was like, oh, that's not okay. I don't want that. So I was exercising more and eating less so that I didn't have those saddlebags on the thighs because that was not okay with me. And then, of course, after I started having kids, because before that I was still, weighed about, 120 to 140, go up and down, between winter and summer. But I still had, some curve happening there. But, after the kids, like I said, the weight just didn't come off. They kept telling me it would, and it didn't. And I would stop eating as much as I had been eating. I was still exercising, but the weight just didn't come off. Now, since I've gone through menopause, the weight has been coming off. And since I've had a few heart episodes and my husband had a stroke, we're changing the diet, to eating healthy foods. And we're finding substitutions, like I said, you can still eat what you want. You just find better choices for yourself, like vegan cheese and no fat cheese. So, you can still eat how you want. You just have to make better choices for yourself. But I had very low self-esteem after having my children because I felt like, wow, I used to be this 36, 24, 36, doing a little modeling and, people liked that look, and now I didn't look like that anymore. And I actually had a guy when I went to a high school reunion laugh in my face, and his buddy was like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you laughing?" And I said, "It's because last time he saw me, I weighed like 120, and now I don't." And he said, "Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it," and walked off. So people are cruel about weight. And like I said, I had high estrogen. I couldn't even take the mini pill at one point because I was having pregnancy symptoms. I was throwing up and swelling and having varicose veins in the legs and everything on the mini pill. And so they tested me, and that's when the doctor said, "Well, you have very high estrogen level." So I couldn't even take the mini pill. So some people, that's just it. And that's what I said. I say estrogen did me in. Because that's the thing. So society really does care whether you got a little Dunlap over your belt. It also carries risks of high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, gallstones, and some cancers, and diminishes quality of life. Now, I did have my gallbladder removed when I was 26 years old. So that was rather young to have your gallbladder removed. But I wasn't obese at the time. But I had a boyfriend that we used to drink a lot together. So that could have played a part, they say. But they said it could have been, just destined to be that way. Because my mother had hers out when I think she was in her 40s, which is normal. But, I had mine out really young. And, I have had high blood pressure in the past. Like I said, I've had a couple heart episodes. I had a stroke when I was pregnant with my oldest child. I got pre-diabetes or, borderline, whatever they want to call it. So it does diminish the quality of your life. I have physical problems. I have osteoarthritis. I have osteosclerosis. And certainly, I'm sure weight does, contribute to the problems and how you feel. Because, I have muscle cramps and pain and everything, and the bones hurt, and, you just don't feel like doing a whole lot when that's going on. And you can't do a whole lot when that's going on, So, being overweight does have an impact on your body. So if you can keep yourself around your target weight, 20 either way, I think is fine. Because like I said, I go up and down from summer to winter. In the Winter I'd be wanting to stay warm, and I'd want soups and stews and grilled cheese and stuff that is warm and of course comforting and heavier for you. Whereas in summer I'd be wanting some fish and salads. I didn't want all that heavy stuff. So to me that's natural. The bear fattens up before winter, and most animals do, and then they get slimmer. And I think we are animals. We're not vegetable or mineral. So we tend to do that too. So if you can stay within 20 pounds of that target weight, and they keep changing it, in the books. But what I grew up with was 5 foot tall, 100 pounds. Every inch after that, 10 more pounds. So, at 5'2", my target weight's 120. Do I weigh 120? But I don't weigh as much as I used to. And I'm headed in the right direction. So that's the goal. Obese people have 30 to 50% more chronic medical problems than smokers or problem drinkers. So being overweight can actually give you more health problems than people who smoke and drink. Now, in the end, if you don't die of heart attack or diabetes, the cancer is probably going to get the smokers and drinkers more so than the obese person. Now, eating a lot of animal fat can lead to colon cancer, so you don't want to keep doing that to yourself. Each year, an estimated 300,000 U.S. adults die from obesity related causes. And I mean, that's something that could be prevented. If you can't prevent it yourself, there are drugs, there's operations. It's a shame that in this country so many people are eating themselves to death. And that tells me there's a hole there that they're trying to fill with the food. Obesity at 40 alone or combined with smoking can take 6 to 14 years off of your life. So if you're an obese smoker, you're shortening your life by years and decades in that case. Excuse me. So think about that one. In a 14-year longitudinal study of more than 1 million U.S. men and women, the risk of death from all causes, especially cardiovascular disease, increased with the degree of obesity. So, I mean, there are people I see, in all honesty, I've never even gotten I've not gotten over 250, much less close to 3, but I see these people out here weighing 300, 400, 500 pounds, 700 pounds. I don't know how they do it. Because I couldn't even hold that much food. It would make me just, But there are people who do it. And to me, they must be so miserable, to stuff themselves with so much food that they get that big. Because, I mean, I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it. So, I mean, if you are doing this to yourself, go get some help. And there might be thyroid problems. There might be, problems with the chemicals in your brain. But, we all know, once you get to over 100 pounds overweight, your body starts breaking down. Your skeleton can handle 2 times your weight. So, if let's just say mine, for example, I'm supposed to weigh about 120. My skeleton can handle that just fine. When I get to 220, it starts having a little more trouble. Things start breaking down. So imagine if then you go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the weight that your skeleton is built to handle. You're going to have a lot of health problems, bone and joint tissue problems. You're basically killing yourself. So if you are in a position where you are obese, and by obese I mean 100 pounds over, or twice what you should weigh, you need to get some help. If you can't do it yourself, try to do it yourself, if you can't, get some help, because you're cutting your life short. I'm sure you have family, friends, people who love you and care about you, and you don't want to leave them too early because, you turn to food to keep you happy. Because we all know that food's not going to keep you happy past the next 3 hours once it's time to eat again. So, people at healthy weight levels need to maintain them, since both modest and large weight gains are associated with increased risk of diseases. And when I went to the doctor, I lost 15 pounds, and they're like, "Whoa, whatever you're doing is working good. Keep it up. Don't go on these fad diets or starvation diets, though. You want to stay healthy." So, you gotta have some common sense about it. And if you are turning to food for happiness, you probably should go talk to a therapist anyway. Because food is not going to make you happy. Food might taste good, it might fill your stomach, you might feel satisfied for a while, but food is not going to make you happy. So, it is not clear whether these increased risks come from overweight, wow, how about obesity itself, or from inactivity. I think someone with, yeah. Let me just read this my way. It is not clear whether these increased risks come from obesity itself or from inactivity and lack of cardiovascular fitness, which often accompanies obesity. I think the person who wrote this, their first language wasn't English, but anyway, the way they put it, didn't make sense to me. But, yeah, when you get so heavy and you're not exercising, your heart muscle gets weak. Then your heart muscle has all this extra weight to carry around. So not only are you stressing it by having a lot of weight to carry around, you're stressing it because you're not exercising it, so it gets weak. So this is a vicious cycle to where it just keeps getting weaker and weaker, to the point where, yes, you're going to have cardiovascular disease. So, these are serious things to think about. Since obesity becomes more prevalent with age, prevention of weight gain during young adulthood through healthy diet and regular physical activity is the most prudent approach. So, young folks, don't get fat. Now, when you're pregnant, because I know some people who did not eat enough when they were pregnant, and their children had some health problems. Underweight, not healthy, end up in the ICU, the NICU, and, you got to take care of the baby. You should be eating more, and your obstetrician and pediatrician will tell you, pregnant woman might have to have like 25 or 3,000 calories a day, but, don't cheat your baby just to not gain weight. But otherwise, try to keep in your target weight, because then you're going to be the healthiest. Adults who are physically active reap many benefits. Aside from helping to maintain desirable body weight, physical activity builds muscles, strengthens heart and the lungs, lowers the blood pressure, protects against heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cancer, and osteoporosis, a thinning of the bones that is most prevalent in middle-aged and older women, causing fractures. It relieves anxiety and depression and lengthens your life. So, not only do you stay, the weight you want to be, but you're physically fit. You have muscle. And I've noticed, just since I've been in my 50s, I'm still doing, my exercise that I've been doing. But I've noticed, I used to have some monster calves, some nice, calves. I've noticed the muscle is not as big as it used to be. It's there, but it's not as big as it used to be. And my son used to joke about my guns. you know. But I've noticed they're also not as muscular as they used to be. There's more of this than there used to be, even though I do the same amount, the little curls. So once you hit about 50 or so, I think the muscle doesn't quite build as much as it used to. So that's something that, I'm not happy about. But you want to stay strong. And, exercising, I do chair yoga and I do breathing exercises to keep the lungs going because I do have, lung disease. I have an inhaler now. I didn't used to have one, but, with my allergies, I've gotten asthmatic bronchitis. I have 4 nodules in this lung here. So, that's no fun. But, yeah, I got the inhaler, so I try to do the breathing exercises to keep the lungs open and clear and everything. And, this has been a rough year, and summer's barely started, but I've had a couple of times where I've had to grab the inhaler, so wish me luck on this summer. And lowers your blood pressure, of course. My husband's blood pressure was lower at his last checkup, so that's good. There for a while, mine was creeping up near that 150 range, but now it's back down to 120, so it's gotten better. Like the doctor said, the Mediterranean style diet is working. So, heart disease, like I said, stroke, diabetes, cancer, all these things are serious, and they can kill you. And also, women, if you are a small woman, you have a greater chance of having osteoporosis. So that exercise will help your bones to stay strong, because that's something I already have, osteosclerosis. So I'm trying to do some weight bearing exercise now with my disease. I'm only supposed to be doing about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, no more than that, because they say if I start doing like half an hour or more, then I'm going to actually be wearing on the bones, tearing them down rather than building them up. So, I'm on light duty exercise. That's not helpful in losing weight either, is it? So, it also relieves anxiety and depression. I've got a punching bag and I got my blue punching boxing gloves. We found out through one of the genealogy seminars that I participated in that Muhammad Ali is our distant cousin, and I was like excited because I was like, I always liked him, and I did, I always liked him. I thought he was cool, but now it's like I think about that when I'm back there, punching the bag, But again, I can only do so much. But women, you want to keep your bones strong when you get old, because that's not something you want to be doing is falling and breaking a hip or your back or anything like that and have to end up in rehab and a nursing home for the rest of your life because you won't heal right. I mean, I've seen that, and I used to work at a nursing home years ago. That's not a pretty outcome. So, do a little exercise, especially you ladies, to keep yourself strong and healthy as you go into older age. Inactivity is a global public health problem. A sedentary lifestyle is one of the world's 10 leading causes of death and disability. So, if you're sitting on your booty all the time, you're not going to be healthy, and, you need to do something. If you can't just stand the idea of going to the gym or exercising at home, go for a walk. We used to do that, when I was able to do that. After dinner, about 7 o'clock, we'd go for a walk around the block. Of course, now it's not safe to walk around the block here in my neighborhood, but that was something that we did. Even moderate exercise has health benefits. So like I say, they told me, do your 10 to 15. Even that has health benefits, and I notice it does, with the strength. I don't feel as clunky as I did, when, because I needed a back operation, couldn't afford it, insurance wouldn't cover it. So the doctor decided, just lay down for 6 weeks and take it easy. Well, after that, I felt so clunky, just trying to do anything, and the balance was off and everything was off. Of course, the back was still not really healed, and I would like move and stuff, move wrong, and it would clunk, and gosh, it would hurt a lot. And then I would get a migraine. If the back hurt too much, I would get a migraine. So it was a vicious cycle there, and then I couldn't do anything if I had the migraine. So it was not good at all. But like I said, I had a lot of health things that fed into that. So incorporating more physical activity into daily life, for example, by walking instead of driving short distances and climbing stairs instead of taking elevators, can be an effective and structured exercise. And when I worked at the psychology group, I started doing that. We had an elevator, but we were only on the second floor, so I still had a little chub. So I was like, I'm going to use the stairs, and I did that for a while until one day I met a man on the stairs who I felt was a little creepy. And then I started seeing them there, and he was talking to me when I was on my lunch and things, and would follow me up. And so I stopped walking up the stairs because, I just had a really bad feeling about this person. He seemed to be a little stalky, and so I didn't take the stairs anymore. I took the elevator. But, you gotta be safe, folks. So, in a longitudinal study of 15,902 healthy Finnish men and women, aged 25 to 64, those who got even occasional exercise were less likely to die within the next 19 years, regardless of genetic or familial factors. So see, even a little bit of exercise, like say that little 10 to 15 they tell me to do every day, that helps, and like at the old folks home when they go and they give them these little ball to throw around or whatever, that helps, so every little bit helps. Don't stop moving, because when you stop moving, you stop moving. And that's where I'm going to leave you today. Hope that helped you maybe figure out a little bit more about why you do what you do. Please like and share this educational program so we can spread it around the world. If you want to help me out, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron. That's all for now. Until next time.